On the outskirts of the city of Petrópolis, Rio de Janeiro, stood the ruins of what had once been the Nossa Senhora das Dores Orphanage. The imposing three-story building, built at the beginning of the 20th century, was now nothing more than an abandoned shell, its peeling walls and broken windows staring into space like dead eyes. Rafael Moreira, a young 28-year-old photographer, arrived at the location on a cloudy May afternoon. Specializing in urban photography, he sought to capture the decaying essence of forgotten places. Little did he know that he was about to encounter horrors beyond his understanding. As he approached the rusty gate, Rafael felt a chill run down his spine. The once well-kept garden was now a tangle of wild vegetation. Twisted trees seemed to bend over the broken stone path as if trying to block his path. The sound of their footsteps echoed eerily, mixing with the cawing of the crows that circled over the partially collapsed roof. Rafael entered the building, his camera at the ready. The smell of mold and decay hit him like a wave, making him choke. The dark corridors seemed to stretch infinitely, and the silence was so thick that it hurt your ears. The once white walls were now stained a dark brown that seemed to pulse in the dim light that filtered through the broken windows. As he walked through the hallways, Rafael couldn't help but notice the remains of toys scattered across the floor. Eyeless dolls, rusty cars, puzzle pieces forming grotesque images. In one of the rooms, he found dozens of iron beds, some still with rotten sheets. In the center of the room, a lone teddy bear stared at him with its black buttons. It was in the basement that Rafael made his most disturbing discovery. Hidden behind a dusty bookshelf, he found an old diary. The yellowed pages told the story of Sister Conceição, the last director of the orphanage. His writings revealed a tormented mind, obsessed with the idea of purification through suffering. Children, she believed, were vessels of sin that needed to be cleansed. With growing horror, Rafael read about the macabre rituals carried out in the basement, the cruel punishments inflicted on the children in the name of salvation. The diary ended abruptly with a frantic entry about a final ritual that would free the children's souls. As he read, Rafael began to hear sounds, whispers, muffled children's laughter, the shuffling of little feet. The air around him turned chilly, and he swore he saw shadows moving in the edges of his vision. Panic took over Rafael. He ran through the hallways, now seeming endless and distorted. The laughter and whispers followed him, getting louder and louder. When he reached the entrance hall, he saw with horror that the gate was closed, the rusty chains moving as if they were alive. Cornered, Rafael turned around and saw dozens of pale children surrounding him. His eyes were black pools of pain and anger. In front of them stood a figure in habit, her face a mask of madness, Sister Conceição. The children moved forward, their cold hands grabbing Rafael. He felt as if they were sucking out his very essence. In his last moments of consciousness, Rafael understood that he was being purified, just as the children had been decades ago. Days later, when police finally found Rafael's abandoned car, a search was launched. All they found was his broken camera at the entrance of the old orphanage. The photos on the memory card showed only empty hallways and abandoned rooms. But in the last image, almost indistinguishable at the end of a dark corridor, one could see Rafael's terrified face, his eyes now as empty as those of the lost children of the Nossa Senhora das Dores Orphanage. Rafael Moreira's case has become yet another urban legend associated with the old orphanage. Some say that on full moon nights, you can hear the sound of a camera shutter echoing through the ruins, followed by muffled screams and childish laughter. The Nossa Senhora das Dores Orphanage remains standing, its walls guarding secrets that will never be completely revealed. And for those foolish enough to venture into its shadows, the warning remains. Some stories are better left untold, some places better left forgotten. For in the ruins of that orphanage, the past never really dies, and lost souls are always waiting for new company.